Hello divas, dudes, and dolls, I'm Caricature, and welcome back to my glistening, ghoulish, and garish little review show, Very Slay, where we go over each and every main stage runway look on RuPaul's Drag Race UK Series 6. Given that this week's theme was a Halloween-themed girl group challenge, I felt it was only appropriate to crack out the Halloween sweater just for this special little review. And then on the runway, the queens walked in the category of Calling Mother Nature. So this is a fun category. I love nature as an influence for drag. Floral, fauna, merry weather, the whole works, the whole thing. I love it. So I was excited to see what the queens were going to do with this. As always, for those who are unfamiliar with how the show works, when we get into these looks, if I thought it got the job done but didn't blow me away, we give it an okay. If I absolutely adore it, we give it a slay. And if I think it's a miss, we give it an A. And it's all in efforts to find my weekly slay of the day, my favorite look out of every episode. Whichever look takes that top spot today, we'll go head to head against our current ranked slay of the season, which is from Marmalade last week. And I will be illustrating whichever look holds that particular title once we have crowned a new winner. And sneak peeks of those looks and whatever else I decide to work on will all be found over on Patreon starting at the $3 tier level. If you want a little episode review, discussion post, that sort of thing, that can be found over on the Patreon as well, which you can access just by joining as a free member. This week I will have little reviews on their ghoul group looks, so if you want to get my general opinion on all of those, that is going to be the place to do it, along with sort of a condensed post going over general things from episodes 2 and 3. Your girl's been behind, she's been on the move, but we're getting there. I'm working on it, I promise. It'll be caught up eventually. I swear, one day. But with all of that taken care of, be sure as always to like, comment, and subscribe, all those lovely little things if you want even more Drag Race fashion coverage in your subscription feeds. And now, without further delay, let's start diving into these looks. First up on the runway, we have Lavo, and whoa Nelly, this dress. This dress is a lot. And I get that she's doing something a little outside of the box and a little experimental for her. I appreciate her swinging for the fences with this. I actually really like the mug. I'm not crazy about the contour and like the black brought around. I get why she has it there. I think she tried something. It works a little bit. I actually really like the orange to yellow like forehead contour and how that's brought into the blush. I think that works. The eye makeup, the shape is really flattering on her. I love this lip though. The lip is the best part of this whole thing. The jewelry's great. I think the accessories are good, but the dress itself, this is just butt-ass ugly. There's no good silhouette shape here. This is a miss for me. It's very tint, and it's a very similar silhouette even to what we see at the end of the runner from Kiren, but Kiren's works. This does not. This is an A. But I will give her props for going outside of her comfort zone. Up next, we have Kiki Snatch, and I honestly really like the afro shape here. I think like the size of it is honestly fine. I think had she gone bigger with it, it would have probably worked better with the overall silhouette, but this isn't anything to be mad at. I think her makeup looks great. The jewelry's great. I love the little butterflies coming out of it. I really like the general shape and silhouette of the bust line, how the flower treatment is done there. But I think there's something about where they're placed along the bottom of this corset that it almost feels too high. Like it feels like there's not a total look there because the flowers I think are just too large on the sides. Had they been a little smaller or placed a little bit lower, I think it would have been more flattering because they're so high up on the hip. It makes her torso look like it's about this big. So the proportions are just a little off to me. You know what she's giving me? She's giving me that scene from Family Guy where Peter Griffin, it's like just the head, but then just all legs and the torso is like real stumpy. That's what this is giving me. So I think there's so many things here that are right, but there's just enough wrong with it that it bothers me. It's okay. Best look she's worn all season though, I'll give her that. Up next we have Cher Te, who's giving us spider diva realness here. I actually really liked the idea of her like knitting the web as she walked the runway. I thought that was quite cute. The makeup's great. I actually really, really love this gradient of the grayscale. And as y'all know, I'm not a fan of these big sculptural wigs, but this one works for me. I think the little swoop is really well scaled. It's really well balanced in terms of proportion. And the fact that there's this little rhinestone spider web at the top of it, I absolutely love that detail. I think the tights are really cute too. What I'm not a big fan of is the dress itself. I think it doesn't necessarily read spider to me. It's a black dress with some spikes. And I think she doesn't totally have the full spider thing going here. Like, there's greatness up here, and there's a great idea on the runway, but I wish there would have been more of like the webbing brought into the gown, and it would have been like a larger thing. I think it could have been a real moment had there been more to that. So for me, I'm gonna give it an okay. Up next, we have Lil, who's doing this little snakeskin idea here. I really, really like this dress. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. And the fact that the stoning is done to create the scales is a really, really genius touch. I like the headpiece a lot. I'm not crazy about the hair, but I know like with a headpiece like this, it's real tight to the scalp. There's not a lot you can do in the wig department. I think the overall silhouette of this is really, really stunning. And it's a great fit for her. I think it's probably my favorite look that she's worn on the runway so far in the competition. This is gonna be a slay for me. The silhouette's right, the color's right, the kind of loose, saggy skin bits work really well, and it's still really glamorous. Then up next we have Release the Slaves. This is far and away best thing she's worn all season. The scaling of this fabric that's like draped around her, it does one of my favorite things in a design where it allows your eye to really like travel through the whole thing all the way around. The hair color is amazing on her. It's the perfect color combo with her skin. I actually really like the long bang on her too. Makeup's great. Everything about this works incredibly well. The only thing that bothered me about this look is that her breast contour is a little off to the side. So when she's just standing, depending on the angle of the shot, it makes that look really, really wonky. But other than that, this was a massive hit for me. Like, this is far and away one of the standouts of the week. This was a slay. Up next, we have our dearly departed Zahira Zapanta. And I completely agree with Michelle's critiques this week. The proportions of this are so horribly off. The headpiece is amazing. I love the scale of it. I love the detailing in it. I love the floral element along the bust, but the fact that she's done a really short dress and then cut it off with flowers at the top of the boot and then done a boot as well with it, it makes her look so scrunched, and she's already little. She doesn't need to do that even more. I think had this dress just been a full gown with a little train, this would have been perfect. This would have been one of the best looks of the week. I'm gonna give it just an okay, because from here up, it's stunning, phenomenal even. From here down, really the waist down, it's a miss. So it balances out to that for me this week. Then up next we have Octavia, who's doing the fire concept that Lavo had, but better. Again, we've got one of these sculptural wigs that I don't really like, but again, I think this one works given the brief and given the concept she's going for. The silhouette of this I like that the top of the bodice is cut to look like flames, like the stonework to have the little yellow accent. It's not like properly taped down or it came undone. She has to hold it up while she walks around because it flops down. That's unfortunate. I like the silhouette of it. I think the hem's great. That being said, there is a shot where they show close up that it's cut so high on one side that she's got a visible panty moment, and I'm not a fan of that. It could have been a little bit longer in the front to alleviate that issue. The leather sleeve is great. I am gonna give it a soft slay because I think it's successful, but I think it could have been finessed a bit more. Up next we have Chanel O'Connor. I think the drape of the skirt is really lovely in the front. I'm not crazy about it in the back. I think the styling of it is fine. I like the little bodice piece here with all the gold. I like the hair. I wish it was, actually stuck to her in the back. The makeup's good. Not a lot of nature going on here for me. So I think it's a bit of a miss in terms of the brief, but it's good. It's not horrible. I'll give it an okay. Then we have my icon, my diva, Miss Marmalade. This is phenomenal. I mean, what can I say? This is an Cher Te dream of a look. This is the exact thing I love about Marmalade, is that even though she's like a little twig and she can get away with wearing basically anything, she still does these like very classic silhouettes that feel old Hollywood, that feel very reference heavy, but in a way that feels fresh at the same time. The chest piece, I love this little bikini top that is almost like the bug's eyes and the antenna. The face is stunning. I love the hair. I love the drape of the skirt. Hair pieces too that are the same color as the skirt fabric. This is phenomenal. What can I say? It's Marmalade. Are we gonna be surprised if she turns out a great look? No, this is a slay. And then finally, we have Kiren Thrax, who's doing a Midsommar moment. I actually really loved this first look because I liked the reference point. I love the makeup. The makeup is easily the best face she's had all season. She looks so severe, but also so soft, which I really appreciated. I like the headpiece. I think the performance of this was so kooky, where it was like, they knew something was coming. They knew she was gonna do a reveal. But honestly, I wish she had either not done the reveal at all, and this had just been the look, or that she had done a reveal that was into the exact same thing, but smaller. Like, very Russian nesting doll vibes. I think it being a cat suit that just has flowers stuck to it is nothing really phenomenal. The reveal is not a successful reveal because I think what's underneath should be better than what's on top, and that was not the case. But I'm still gonna give it a slay because the top of it was so good. And now it's time to pick my slate of the day, my favorite look of the week. And it should be absolutely no surprise to anybody familiar with my content on the channel, because once again, my personal favorite had the best look. So I'm gonna give my slate of the day to Marmalade once again. Relisa is like right there. Very close second for me. But Marmalade, the aesthetic of it is just a little more up my alley. I'll be giving this slate of the day to her once again. And now it's time to put this look head to head up against her new romantics look from last week. And then we will figure out which one will advance to episode 5. Whew, I love these both so much. But if you follow my work, and you see the type of illustrations that I do, one of these is very in line with the type of stuff I enjoy making the most. My slate of this season, as of now, is going to be Marmalade's Call Me Mother Nature look from this episode. I absolutely adored this. And like I said last time, we'd have to see if she could top herself, and she did. And I'm sure she's gonna do it again. We'll just have to see. But this was, oh my God, this was a dream of a look. I absolutely adored it. And if it doesn't win Slay of the Season by the end of the season, I will probably draw it anyways, just for funsies, because I have no chill. And the list of looks I want to draw anyways just keeps growing longer and longer in perpetuity. But we will see you all in the next one. Once again, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, all those lovely little things. And we will see you whenever we see you. Until next time, be sure to go out there, stay kind, stay queer, and make sure that your day is very slay.